It is Monday morning, and how do we start Monday morning? You know, making the grade. We're live here at Stafford High School. Stafford High School, phenomenal student this morning, Arissa Lamel. And I tell you what, she's headed to Texas A&M. She's a phenomenal softball player, 3.8 GPA, National Honor Society, member of the Student Council, wants to major in psychology. She is just so smart. She already has earned her associate's degree, so she only has 2 years to do at a D1 school. So it's going to be great. I think she's going to play softball at Texas A&M. So phenomenal student, phenomenal co-host I have. We have Mike and Chelsea and Mike, and it doesn't get much better than that. You know, especially when you talk about Chelsea. I know Friday, you know, she wanted to talk smart to me and everything, you know, but it's okay. You know, I let her kick me around sometimes, you know, but you know, I'm gonna. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are this morning, but I love it when you smile. I just love to see a smile on your face. There's nothing like it. There's nothing. Mike, you got to help me out here, man. Aww. Don't let her beat me up, Mike, too badly anyway.
Well,
you know, but
Chelsea, we're at a distance though. I'm in the studio, so I can't really. Chelsea's, you know, she's got free reign in her environment there. With a very, very important story this morning, too.
Mike can't reel me in today. Sorry.
Okay,
boy. So just to answer the question.
Trouble. Where are you today? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you up to?
You might be in trouble. So right now I'm at Houston Safe and Lock. Today we were talking about keeping our firearms safely secured. So we've seen some really disturbing headlines. I know for me as a mom, seeing the headlines, we had a 4-year-old who got a hold of a gun last week. And shot a sibling. We had over the weekend I believe a 5-year-old or another little kid get a hold of their gun and shoot their mom and her friend, and then turns out that happened at an apartment complex. A couple months ago at the same apartment complex, there was a 5-year-old who got a hold of a gun and shot and killed their sibling. So just some very disturbing headlines. So we wanted to kind of talk about how to safely secure your firearms beyond what you might know when you get a gun. Typically you get the gun lock where you know, thread it through the trigger and all that, or you may know about some basic gun safes, but we want to kind of expand that, let people know about some options. So we came here to Houston Safe and Lock, and one of the things we were talking about is sometimes people may not realize they can get like a safe, just a regular safe, and still use that for their gun depending on their needs.
Sure. We have all kinds of safes, but any safe, even though it may be called a certain thing, doesn't mean it's deemed only to hold that asset. Okay. So yes, you are correct. We have multiple safes and or lock boxes that are used for cash, paperwork, and firearms and jewelry.
Okay, good to let people know that they have that option. So we have like the smaller versions of these. You can like really bolt down pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, this is one of the limitations of this is because of the size, it would be something that someone could just pick and take away with them. So, but there is an option to bolt that down to prevent that from happening. But this is a great option for something by your bed. Yeah, it's easy to get into. It stores a handgun or whatever you may need by your bedside. Yeah,
that could fit a few things in there. And really the bolting down is to help prevent somebody from stealing it. Let's say you know, get burglarized. And we've had an issue in Houston with stolen guns too. So that's a way to make sure that it is secure, not just from your kids, but from a thief. That's
correct. I mean, I tell customers all the time, you got to keep in mind when you're buying a safe, right? You're basically buying that safe to put in the majority of your valuable assets in it. If you're going to put your assets in one location, you want to make sure that you have a secure safe.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the options that I like, come on in. Sorry, we're doing a little streaming show. Hey there, we're getting customers in, because y'all been open since 8, right?
We've been open since 8 a.m.
Okay, that's when we came here this morning to get all this info. Okay, so one of the things, this was probably my favorite of the morning. Yeah. The under the bed storage. So tell us again how this one works.
Yeah, so this is a safe that can hold a long gun or a rifle. It also can hold a pistol, for that matter, anything, any asset. But what's pretty cool about this, what makes this a popular item, is it's mounted under the bed, but it's bolted up to the top of your bed frame.
So your kids don't even have to know that it's under there.
So if you look under the bed, you won't see it on the floor. And then once again, it's easy access, and it's right there by your bedside.
Okay, and these are fairly quick to get into, because I know like the locks that we were talking about earlier, it could take a while. If you feel like you need your gun in an emergency, it might take a while to, you know.
Yeah, these have a 4 to 6 digit PIN code, and it's very simple to get into, 10 seconds.
Okay, all right. I want Rodney to spin around real quick, because we talked about a little bit about the big boys that you got back here. Those are for people who got like a whole collection, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. So once again, those are called gun safes, but you can have them shelved out for any asset you want. An interesting thing here in Texas is that gun safes, there's no sales tax on gun safes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so no sales tax on these things.
That's right.
Okay. What's the price range?
So we have these safes over here on the far left range anywhere from 12 to 15,000, all the way down to somewhere around 1,000 or slightly below 1,000.
Okay, all right. So if you've got multiple, that's a good choice for you. Definitely keeping the kids out with those.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and the price range varies, and there's a couple of things that you need to consider. You need to consider the fire rating. You need to consider the security rating.
Okay.
And those would impact the price.
Let me ask you this, because we didn't have a whole lot of time in the last hour to talk about how these get to your house, because you're right here on Westheimer, which is cool, but people can't just like throw this in the back of their trucks and take it home.
It's a good question, because the reality is these safes range anywhere from 2,500 pounds to maybe on the low 300 pounds. But even that, customers oftentimes think, oh, me and a couple of buddies, and we'll bring this in the house. It's
You're
not
like,
that simple. And so, but more importantly, whenever you have someone, right, that's going to be taking a safe into your home, you want to make sure that the vehicle's unmarked. We don't want to pull up with a big old, hey, I'm delivering a safe to these people's house. And it's important that the people that are working for the company had a background check. So here at Houston Safe and Lock, everybody has a background check. So you know that we've been doing this well over 50 years, but you know that you can count on security whenever we're making a delivery. And then we can bolt it down. That's another thing that I don't know how much we talked about, but bolting the safe down prevents the bad guys from tipping it over, getting leverage to try and pry open the door.
Okay, all right.
Things of that nature.
Good to know you got us covered on keeping all our valuables and the weapons secured. Okay, and y'all probably heard in the background, that's key making, right?
We're a full locksmith.
Okay, yeah, they do a little bit of everything here at Houston Safe and Lock, so you guys can check them out, learn more about safes, and keeping your valuables and all the things right where they need to be. All right, send it back to you, Nick.
First of all, let me just say this. I'm glad that you are giving people good information about gun safety. Chelsea, that is so important now, especially with the trouble that we've had. Yeah, with the trouble that we've had in the city of Houston, surrounding areas, and especially in and near our neighborhoods and on the streets. We need to know how to keep guns safe. But on a more, I guess, personal level with you, you don't need to be handling guns at all. You don't need to be anywhere around a gun. Whatever gun you might have at home needs to be locked up. Your husband needs to handle all the guns, because I'm afraid if you get a hold of the gun, you'll shoot yourself in the toe. Don't tell him what you'll do. So you don't need to be around a gun at all. You need to lock it up. Let your husband, make sure your husband takes care of the gun. Chelsea, you stay as far away from a gun as you can. Period. You don't need to be around guns at all.
I'm gonna,
you got it?
I'm gonna resist the urge to tell you I'm a grown blank woman. Like anybody. First of all, let me tell you. I did an interview for the 7 with a grandmother of 3 who actually is a firearms instructor also, and she's also a facilitator with this group, A Girl and a Gun. And she says she has a lot of women come to her who have never handled a gun before. For the record, I have handled a gun more than once, Nate. But that's a good starting point for a lot of women who don't know where to start, who may be concerned, especially about safety with little kids. But yeah, I got this, Nate. Don't worry about it. I got it.
You sure? I just don't want you to get hurt. Yeah, I don't want you to shoot yourself in the toe.
Thank you.
I don't need you doing any of that. You know, you try to load a clip, and then you end up, just you clip off one of your little fingernails, because you were trying to load up a clip. So I could see all that happening. All right,
yeah,
very good, Chelsea.
No, this is not a problem here, but thank you.
All right, very good, very good. All right, very good. Okay. All right, well, have a good day. All right, we'll move it along and go to Mike. Mike, there's no news out of New Orleans about Jameis Winston today.
Not today.
I'm not sure, with OTAs.
We have OTAs.
With OTAs coming up, I'm pretty sure with OTAs already underway, that eventually we're going to hear something about Jameis Winston. But in the meantime, what's going on with the weather?
Well, not much.
Love it.
Yeah. No, not much. Sorry.
I absolutely love it.
Sorry, you got me on the Jameis Winston thing, and then I got off the weather thing. Because what I was going to say was that I'm sure that what's very likely to happen is that Derek Carr is going to get to camp, and they're going to look at him and they're going to say, yeah, he's okay. He's a C quarterback. He's a C plus B minus quarterback.
Oh my God.
But then the thing is Jameis is going to come out, and it's going to occur to. We will see. It's a long season. We've got 17
Mike,
games.
I got to tell you, I don't envision that happening. At all. But I don't want to kill your dreams. I'm not a dream killer. I understand. You're a Jameis Winston fan, Florida State guy. I get it.
Yeah.
But I just.
It's not over.
I fully
get it. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till it's over. All right, let's talk about the weather here really quick. So the deal is this. So today, I know it's mainly cloudy out there right now. I think we will see some sun peeking through by the afternoon, but really, all things considered, for this time of the year, it feels pretty decent out there. There is, however, a 20% chance you'll encounter a thunderstorm today, especially if you live south of Houston. Tomorrow looks hotter, near 90. We'll have a pretty decent chance for storms Wednesday, and then the rest of the forecast mostly just looks pretty hot. It's not going to be crazy hot for Memorial Day, but it is going to be very warm, at average or slightly above average for that. All morning long I've been putting on, we have all kind of stuff, Nate, busy. So we have a hurricane special that we're putting together. So I've been working on that. I also have my Mondays with Mike segment that comes on, that is on wherever you're watching this. You could watch that at 12:30, and I'm trying to make it interesting and informative. So I'm putting together like 10 hurricane facts that you probably didn't know, that kind of thing. So I'm going to be recording that, and then I got the noon show. Then I got to go home and let Goose out, because Goose is in his cage. My wife's going to let him out, and then Goose, got to let him out, pet him. We got to have the whole reunion, licking and all that stuff. Then he's got to go outside and go pee-pee and all that. Give him a treat, and then it's a whole big thing. It's a lot of responsibility, Nate.
Well, I totally understand that. And you talk about Goose. Mm-hmm. Goose was a character in Tom Cruise.
From Top Gun, yeah.
Yes.
Although I don't know,
Top Gun.
My daughter's named him. I don't think that I took him to see Top Gun 2 or whatever, the Top Gun Maverick. But and Goose's son was in that movie. His name was Rooster. Right. And I really did not. I didn't love the Top Gun Maverick. It was okay. But it doesn't. You're never going to replace that original. But the name Goose, true. I don't know how that name got into their head. They were going to name him Moose, but he's so little. He's like a 10-pound dog or like a 9-pound dog. So Moose sounds a little bit too butch. So we went with Goose.
Yeah. Yeah, Moose sounds like a name for a bigger dog.
Yeah, you gotta like a big Mastiff or something.
I mean, it needs to be. Yeah, it needs to be a Mastiff, something like that, something or a like Doberman.
That. Yeah.
Or a big German Shepherd.
One of those.
Something. What are those dogs? What are those dogs that slobber all over you? The big 200-pound dogs.
Oh, maybe like the Saint Bernard.
Yeah, the Saint Bernards.
Yeah.
The Saint, but big. You call us.
They got the
Saint
barrel
Moose. Hey, Moose,
attached
come here, big dog.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that
big
one
dog.
could be
Come
Moose.
on over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one could be moose. Yeah, so. All right, well, Kevin just got in my ear and told me we have about 2 minutes. Any lasting words you might have or any words you want to depart to our audience?
Well, I would just say
or impart to our audience.
The tropics are starting to heat up a little bit. It's nothing that's too worrisome. It's not like there's any hurricane coming our way. It's real early for that, but we're starting to see like things starting to just cook a little bit. So over there by the Bahamas, we got a little low, and then the models are showing another low forming over there by Jacksonville, Florida, maybe coming up around Memorial Day or Memorial Day weekend. So it's nothing that would be coming our way, but it's just a sign that it's sneaking up on us. That hurricane season is almost here, and we're going to start to see these little lows developing off the East Coast. So we shall see. The first name on this year's list, by the way, is Arlene. So we'll see what happens when we're going to get Arlene.
All right, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate it. Have a good day, Mike.
All right, you too, you too.
And we will chat with you on tomorrow. All right. Whatever, man. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we want to thank, and by the way, when I'm talking to my colleagues, it's strictly out of fun. That's what it is. Okay, so you don't have to get so serious about it on Twitter. No need for that. All right, guys. Daniela Cinderella, the very stylish Janae, Lisa Taylor, Shining Diamond, Brittany, a.k.a. Busy, Keandra, the sweet one, Barbie doll Barbie, Jessica the Great Berman, Rico the Suave Jones, producer Mark Coleman, a.k.a. Mr. Oatmeal, the Lion Grambling Grad, Kevin 5K Collins, the Chef John Butler, also known as Mr. Meat, Six Gun Dan, Juan, kind of get a Mike Chick Miller, Big Daddy Bradley, Elisa, Rashad Snell, Catherine, Texas Tech, Grandpa Mark, Jenna, Alex, What's Up, Supco, Randy Pickle Juice Tilly, Ole Miss Maggie, Ed Lightburn, $2 Todd, the Mayor Dave Lanier.
There's a chance for a few isolated storms, mostly across places like Galveston County and Brazoria County. That's where the highest likelihood is. So we'll have a mostly quiet week ahead, maybe a couple of storms today, and then the best chance for rain coming up on Wednesday. Other than that, the temperatures will be at or below normal, which is nice. We're also watching a weak low in the Atlantic that has a slight chance of developing for this week. No effect on us, probably not affecting land at all, but we'll keep you apprised of what's happening with it. Mid-60s to the north, low 70s to the south. And yeah, there's some rain showing up on the radar. Not really moving toward the coastline right now. It's sort of stationary, just hugging right along Surfside Beach and just off the coastline around Freeport. And that's about it. Not too much to worry about. Here's our quick cast. So this morning at 8 a.m.